New Orleans Saints fans, I have been sitting here thinking about this team, and honestly, the energy feels different as we look toward another season of grinding for that ring. Something just came out regarding our training camp plans and some major roster shifts that could truly shake up everything for this franchise. What makes this so interesting is seeing how our leadership is prioritizing chemistry over last year's transition period. The more details come out, the harder it is to ignore the massive potential building behind the scenes. Smash that like button, subscribe, and drop your name and city below. Who dat? Let's get into it. New Orleans Saints head coach Kellen Moore officially announced that our team will hold training camp primarily in Metairie this year, signaling a return to our roots while aggressively pursuing joint practice opportunities. Kellen Moore is entering his second season leading this franchise, and after a year of heavy scheme installation, he is now prioritizing continuity to build a championship culture. And honestly, for a fan base that grew accustomed to California camps, staying in Louisiana feels like a breath of fresh air. Here is where it gets interesting because Moore confirmed that once the preseason schedule drops, he is actively courting other organizations to create high-intensity practice environments. That matters because as New Orleans Saints fans, we remember how injuries derailed our joint practice plans in 2024, leaving us craving more competitive reps against outside talent. Now here's the thing. Moore is clearly feeling confident after a massive free agency haul that brought in difference makers like Travis Etienne Jr. and Noah Fant to elevate our roster. Let's be real, the addition of quarterback Zach Wilson, who is now tasked with battling Spencer Rattler for the backup role, shows that our front office is obsessed with creating competition at every single position. The atmosphere surrounding the facility is buzzing with genuine excitement as we pivot from learning complex schemes to perfecting them on our own turf. The anticipation is building, and the collective feeling among the Who Dat Nation is that this stability is exactly what we need to turn the page toward a successful season. We have the depth, we have the coaching consistency, and now we finally have the home field advantage back in Metairie, where our journey truly begins. Every decision made lately proves that this team is finally moving with a clear, unified purpose to dominate the gridiron in 2026. As New Orleans Saints fans, we need to look at why Coach Kellen Moore is prioritizing joint practices in Metairie this year. Last season was a transition period defined by heavy scheme installation, but the decision to stay local is driven by a desire for stability after the chaotic, travel-heavy camp in California. That matters because the previous lack of joint practices left us without a true gauge of our growth against outside talent, and with key additions like Travis Etienne Jr. and Noah Fant, we need live reps to refine our execution. Here is where it gets interesting regarding the quarterback competition. We just signed Zach Wilson, a former number 2 overall pick, who brings 3 years of Jets experience and stints with Denver and Miami to our room. He joins Tyler Show and Spencer Rattler, creating a crowded field for the backup role. Let's be real, Wilson has struggled with accuracy and durability, but Mickey Loomis clearly believes he offers a high ceiling for competition. We have seen this rebuild cycle before, and it rarely succeeds without legitimate internal pressure on the roster. The coaching staff is surely banking on the fact that these players are now entering their second year in Moore's system, allowing for more advanced work rather than just basic playbook memorization. Historically, this team has leaned on veteran stability, yet now we are betting on reclamation projects to fill out the depth chart. And honestly, the front office is looking at a draft that requires total flexibility, so filling those gaps with guys like Ty Chandler and David Edwards was a strategic move to insulate us from any draft day unpredictability. We are aiming for a refined, high-functioning offense that finally clicks with the efficiency we expected last year, and this camp schedule is the foundational step toward that goal. Who dat? As New Orleans Saints fans, we are witnessing a complete culture reset under head coach Kellen Moore. And honestly, the decision to keep training camp in Metairie is a massive win for our rhythm. That matters because the continuity Moore emphasizes allows our core schemes to take root without the distractions of travel, creating a professional environment where growth is the only priority. Here is where it gets interesting regarding the roster. By bringing in guys like Travis Etienne Jr. and Noah Fant, while forcing competition between Zach Wilson and Spencer Rattler for the backup spot, we are finally building legitimate depth that this team desperately lacked. Let's be real, having a veteran presence like Wilson pushes the ceiling for our younger arms, while our revamped backfield gives us a dangerous two-headed monster alongside Alvin Kamara. This shift means we will be much more prepared for high-stakes matchups against guys like Mike Vrabel in New England, or the defensive minds we will face throughout the year. We are no longer just hoping to survive the schedule, we are preparing to dictate terms. Now here's the thing about our divisional standing. With the NFC South becoming a battlefield, these calculated free agent acquisitions and the focus on joint practices give us the edge to close the gap on the top contenders. We have moved from a team struggling with installation to one that can actually compete with the elite rosters coached by people like Joe Brady in Buffalo or the disciplined squads under Ben Johnson in Chicago. Every move Mickey Loomis has made this offseason has been about maximizing our current window to make a serious push for the postseason. We are deeper, faster, and more prepared than we have been in years, and that is exactly why Who Dat Nation should be incredibly optimistic about our playoff chances this season. On one side, the decision to keep our training camp in Metairie is a massive win for team cohesion and comfort, allowing our roster to master Kellen Moore's complex schemes in a familiar environment without the logistical nightmare of cross-country travel. This continuity is vital as we integrate high-profile free agents like Travis Etienne Jr. and Noah Fant into our system. But on the other side, the risk remains that we might miss out on the hardening effect of getting away from home and testing ourselves against different defensive looks during intense joint practices. That matters because last year, the lack of outside competition left us feeling unprepared for the unpredictable speed of the regular season. Here is where it gets interesting, as national media members and analysts around the league are buzzing about our front office's aggressive pursuit of depth. Other teams are noting how Mickey Loomis has turned our roster into a legitimate pressure cooker, particularly with the arrival of Zach Wilson to push Spencer Rattler for that backup quarterback role. Let's be real, the league is watching closely to see if this talent injection pays off. Personally, I think this strategy is exactly what we needed to move the needle in the NFC South. We finally have a veteran-heavy backfield and a coaching staff that knows how to leverage specific skill sets. It is clear that we are building a machine capable of winning in late December, and if we can secure those joint practices, we will be battle-tested and ready to compete with the likes of the Bears under Ben Johnson or the Bills under Joe Brady. Now here's the thing, we are no longer just hoping for success, we are actively orchestrating it through calculated moves. It is a bold new chapter for this franchise, and as New Orleans Saints fans, we must continue to shout, "Who Dat?" As we look at the bigger picture for this franchise, it is clear that Kellen Moore and the front office are prioritizing stability and competitive depth to build a legitimate contender. By keeping training camp in Metairie while pursuing joint practices, the team is fostering a professional environment that emphasizes growth over travel fatigue. That matters because entering year 2 of these complex schemes, we are finally moving past basic installation and into the fine-tuning stage that separates good teams from great ones. And honestly, you should feel incredibly optimistic about this direction. We have solidified the roster with high upside additions like Travis Etienne Jr. and Noah Fant, while creating genuine competition at quarterback by bringing in Zach Wilson. Here is where it gets interesting because this depth ensures that no position is handed a starting job, which is exactly what we need to survive the brutal grind of the regular season. Let's be real. The front office has executed a clean operation that grants us maximum flexibility heading into the draft. Now here's the thing, this team is hungry and clearly defined by a winning culture that we have been craving for a long time. With this roster continuity and a front office that actually has a concrete plan, we are finally positioning ourselves to make some serious noise in the NFC. I want to hear your thoughts on this roster shuffle, so tell me in the comments below which of our new free agent signings are you most excited to see take the field in black and gold this season. If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Who Dat? I'll see you in the next one.